Hello comic book fans, thank you very much for coming to the channel for my review of Ultimate Wolverine #1. I'm Oddmondo from Not of This Realm, where we talk about comic books, movies, television, and action figures inspired by the realms of superheroes, sci-fi, horror, and fantasy. Welcome to the channel if this is your first time here. We hope you enjoy the video and consider liking it as well as subscribing to Not of This Realm. I will be going into spoiler territory, so if you haven't read Ultimate Wolverine #1, stop right here, go pick it up, and give it a read. I'll be waiting here for you when you're ready. Wolverine is one of my favorite superheroes. If you've seen my comic book hauls, then you probably already know this. I'll read practically any book he's attached to. So when Marvel first announced Ultimate Wolverine at New York Comic Con 2024, I went to my local comic book store and had it added to my pull list. I can confidently say that I'm glad I did it. From the story to the artwork, the creative team has delivered an exceptional first issue for what's sure to be a great title. Ultimate Wolverine #1 is violent, sad, and intriguing with a hint of hope and redemption in the future, which I think are key elements for crafting an excellent Wolverine story. As soon as I opened the book, it hooked me with a cool homage to Captain America the Winter Soldier, where Wolverine takes a leap from a plane without a parachute like Cap did in the movie. I also think it's a very smart way of starting this series, since this first issue is showing us how he becomes a Winter Soldier of the Ultimate Universe. Artist Alessandro Cappuccio does a phenomenal job in this scene. It looks really intense and fun, and I love how he transitions it into a flashback that shows us how he was the only survivor of an attack and then maimed and captured by the enemy. One of the many things I like about this issue is how writer Chris Condon shifts the story between the present and the past to effectively show us how Wolverine becomes the Winter Soldier of the Ultimate Universe and the horrible things he is doing in the present while under the control of the Eurasian Republic, which is the Ultimate Universe version of Russia and its surrounding countries and the antagonistic force of the story. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry. There's a short preface in the beginning that summarizes what you need to know before getting into Ultimate Wolverine #1. Essentially, an evil version of Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four, now known as the Maker, created an alternate universe where he prevented most of Marvel's superheroes from becoming superheroes in the first place. He's delegated control of this Earth to other powerful and influential individuals known as the Council, and they each control different parts of the world. In the case of Ultimate Wolverine, we are focusing on the Eurasian Republic, which is under the control of Colossus, Magic, and Omega Red variants. Now that's just my very brief summary of this. If you aren't familiar with the history of the Ultimate Universe, don't worry. Condon does a great job of providing enough backstory that helps this story stand on its own. I would, however, suggest at least reading Ultimate Universe 1 year in before going into Ultimate Wolverine. I also like how the exposition given through dialogue in this issue feels natural and fits within the context of the scenes. One of the things I really enjoyed is how the scientist experimenting on Wolverine constantly refers to him as it, while explaining why he makes the perfect test subject. It really exemplifies how she and the others see him only as an object for them to use as a weapon. Back in the present, we see him tearing into an outpost of freedom fighters made up of humans and mutants known as the Opposition. It's absolutely savage and heartbreaking since the ones in charge of the outpost are Mystique and Nightcrawler. Cappuccio and colorist Brian Valenza do a wonderful job here as well. The Opposition puts up a good fight, but the Winter Soldier brutally dispatches all of them. It was especially painful to see him end the life of Nightcrawler, since he was trying to reach out to and hopefully snap Wolverine out of it. It's not an entire loss, however. Much like in Captain America the Winter Soldier, we see that this encounter with his friend resonates with Wolverine, leaving us some hope for his redemption later on in the series. To top it all off, there's a recovered speech from Nightcrawler at the end of the book that makes this story all the more tragic. In my opinion, Ultimate Wolverine #1 is an excellent book despite it having a significant learning curve. I highly suggest picking it up at your local comic book store and adding it to your pull list. Those are my thoughts and opinions on Ultimate Wolverine #1 from Marvel. Did you get to read this issue? What did you think? Do you agree or disagree with my thoughts and opinions? Let us know what you think in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button. If you're interested in comic books, movies, television, and action figures inspired by the realms of superheroes, sci-fi, horror, and fantasy, then please consider subscribing to us. I'm Oddmondo from Not of This Realm. This video was written by me and edited by the lovely Ostra Vixen. Thank you so much for watching, we really do appreciate it. Be safe and take care.